if you lived in a perfect world, what would you like your core processing system to do that it currently isn't doing, or is doing that maybe you would like it to do better? What is it that you're trying to get your core processing system to accomplish right now, or maybe in the future? What would you like it to do for you? Or is it functioning right now at peak efficiency?
I can comment a little bit on that. Our core processor just within the last 3 years offered a teller platform to go along with it, and it's really not as mature yet as we'd like to see it. So
Okay.
we still use another vendor for the teller platform, and that makes it difficult. With new releases and changes, that you keep both vendors in sync with that, because your teller platform is so closely tied to your core that it has to work very seamlessly together. And having two vendors is always a challenge between those two products. Another product that we would really like to see is the core vendor get into is more of a consumer loan origination. So it would help with cross-selling and credit score information and that kind of thing being all integrated together with the core system. We today have to build those interfaces ourselves, and it isn't as seamless as it could be if it was all provided by one vendor.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else have a wish list for their processing system?
I guess for us, one of the things I would really like to see is we have the ability to run reports off the data that's on our system, but what we don't have the ability to do is to change the data that's on our system with those reports that we run. And from a marketing aspect, I'd really like to be able to run a report, say, of everybody that has a share draft account but not a quick cash line of credit to overdraft protect those checking accounts, and then code those with a different mailing code, so that when we run statements, those with that particular mailing code would get one brochure, and those that don't have it would get a different brochure. Just being able to do marketing type things like that, I would really like to see added to
Okay.
ours.
Any other wish lists? Interface is a big problem, I'm sure, if you have different systems like you were talking about on the teller platform. Any other things on your wish list?
I think Shay and I are probably in the same boat, having converted this year, that we're still trying to learn and understand what we have. I feel, too, the analogy of we went from the desert in-house, spending so much time and resources on the technical side. Now we do have the marketing tools, we have the cross-selling tools, everything that we had wished for we have, but we're in the process of learning it.
Mm-hmm. So learning the full functionality that you have at your disposal.
Right.
Okay.
Doing a conversion, I was forewarned that there would be a lot of headaches and a lot of work for the preparation. And I think my advice to anybody going through this or looking at it is you really need to prepare not only yourself, your management team, and your staff for a learning curve for about 6 to 8 months out afterwards. I know that was quite a shock when we did convert. We hit the first month end, and I sat down and I said, now how do I look at a financial statement? You're just learning it all completely new, and that's a huge challenge for your staff, and you have to do a lot of things to keep them motivated, keep them upbeat, and moving forward in that learning curve.
I was going to ask about a timeline for a conversion and just what type of, how long this has been, and you're talking 6 to 8 months post-conversion to really feel comfortable with it. What did the other side of the timeline look like?
We were 6 to 8 months pre-conversion.
Okay.
Because you have to do all of the mapping of the data where it is today so that it will convert to the new system. And then so I would say it's a good 12 to 18 month process.
Okay.